Welcome everyone. Previously, I explained a water system of the past. Now, I will discuss the most important stakeholders in relation to the vernacular architecture of Fındıklı in Rize as part of historical waterworks, both historically and today. Traditionally, people in this region shaped their environment by managing their lands, crops, and buildings, and the cultures around them. Landowners hired farmers on a seasonal basis to harvest the crops. Therefore, the main stakeholders of the past were the local communities, including building owners, constructors, farmers, and artisans. Although the settlements were scattered over large areas, people lived collectively. They helped each other in clearing the snow cover from the rooftops of their buildings. While communities survived through the disasters of floods and landslides, the government of that time had limited access to the area due to its remoteness. At the time of the construction of these settlements, there were very few building regulations. Thus, homeowners dealt with the planning and managing their lands and buildings without the control of institutions or regulations. Today, stakeholders of these vernacular settlements are complex and often deal with various sectors at different scales. The maintenance of these sites became more challenging with the involvement of various institutions and regulations. In Fındıklı, the most relevant stakeholders are related to heritage, water, and disasters. Over time, historical objects, buildings, and sites have become heritage assets. Some of these buildings came under the supervision and control of cultural heritage agencies and their regulations. These agencies designated some of these sites as cultural heritage depending on the degree that they represent the original way of building. The agencies are responsible for the documentation and listing of these sites and the heritage management. Meanwhile, public institutions responsible for natural resources claimed water resources in the area as natural heritage. This resulted in the restrictions and limitations of accessing water resources and forests. Administrative control of water grew with the arrival of various aspects of water, including public sewage, drinking water, and irrigation. Waterworks such as hydroelectric power plants were planned surrounding these protected sites. With the increasing effects of climate change, these developments have increased the intensity of disasters. When buildings collapsed during floods and landslides, the public sector disaster management body became involved in assessing the degree of the damage. Each public institution has its own goals, and these goals are often not aligned. For instance, the public administration in these sectors operates at regional level but follows national legislations and laws. Public intervention is not aligned with the people's needs either. Locals protested the construction of a hydroelectric power plant in the area, which contradicted the preservation of waters. Similarly, locals cannot modify their buildings according to their wishes and needs without consulting these institutions and their regulations. A problem of today's modern heritage, water, and disaster management institutions is that they do not talk to each other. Disaster management does not consider the needs of preservation of cultural heritage sites. There is a lack of communication and transferability between water and disaster institutions. Water is an interest to both development and preservation, but there are conflicts in top-down and bottom-up decisions. And sometimes different public institutions, such as natural resources and waterworks development, conflict as they serve different needs and interests, such as preservation versus development. Even questions of water that are interlinked are not considered comprehensively. We moved from a local system to a regional one. As a result, the locally built buildings and waterworks are now managed and preserved under different institutional jurisdictions. The management of these sites is now complex, with the involvement of various stakeholders from different sectors, institutions, and their regulations.